Good morning to the Wednesday morning show sponsored by HB Neal Construction. I'm meteorologist Johnny Lively. Thanks for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions this morning. We look at the Tamco live Doppler radar. We can see some isolated showers have popped up near the Sabine Pass area. A lot of this is currently offshore. You can see another round because I'm currently on the Lake Charles radar, but another round or another section of showers popping up near Sealy and near the El Campo and Lake Jackson region. The high humidity is definitely playing a role with some of these showers developing this morning. We're going to see that coverage continue to increase later this morning, especially once we get into the afternoon. Tamco Hellguard beyond class 4 satellite and radar showing us we're starting to see a little bit more showers developing in parts of the state of Texas. But if we zoom in, you can once again see near Lake Jackson, we're starting to see some development and towards the Texas and Louisiana border towards Sabine Pass. Again, we're going to see that coverage increase throughout the morning and into the afternoon hours. Look how warm and humid it is across really the southern plains, the state of Texas, and the whole South. You're going low 60s all the way up to St. Louis and Omaha. Thanks to Do Good Credit Union, we can show you that we are definitely starting to get warm in a good chunk of the country. Look at Brownsville already at 75 degrees this morning. Here locally, we no longer see 40s. We no longer see 50s. The whole region is in the 60s. Burkeville is the only area that's cool this morning at 57. Houston at 66. Beaumont at 63. And you go down towards the coast, almost a 10-degree jump already into the low 70s. So that warm, moist air from the Gulf is already along the coast. It's going to continue going further inland, and those dew points are going to increase, and we're going to see the chance for some locally heavy rainfall later this morning into the afternoon hours. Thanks to Neutron Electrical Services showing us those temperatures, what's going on this morning. Modern Concrete Materials showing us the outdoor and construction forecast for today. Yesterday we had 80 to 90% coverage. It was light to moderate rain. Today the coverage is going to be slightly less, but it's still pretty high. 50 to 60% coverage is where we're going to be topping out later this afternoon. And again, this is actually going to have a higher potential for locally heavy rainfall. Yesterday, temperatures didn't get out of the upper 60s to low 70s. Today, we're going to be getting into the mid to upper 70s. We got more humidity, more moisture, warmer temperatures. Locally heavy rainfall can be possible for some of these isolated storms. And here we are looking at the Futurecast sponsored by Switch Electric. Later this morning, we're going to start seeing some of these storms developing in parts of the woodlands, Lake Jackson, over there towards the Texas and Louisiana border. We're going to see this coverage increase. And as we continue throughout the morning, we're going to see the coverage continue to increase as well, too. Again, look at some of these areas. These are just some of your normal moderate to heavy downpours. No big deal, right? But notice some of those purples and pinks. That's some of your heavier storms. This is where we could see 2 to 3 inch rainfall rates. And again, some of these areas we could see getting up to 2 to 3. I'm not going to rule out the chance seeing up to 4 inches in some of these isolated areas. And we'll show the rainfall totals here in a second, but I'm just showing you that some of the storm motion is not very quick moving. And you can see that some of those same areas like Houston, Atascocita, near Lake Jackson, you could see heavy rainfall later this morning getting into the afternoon hours. How much rain are we talking? Well, we've got two different models we're going to show here. You can see that a good chunk of the region that actually does get rain, about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch is what we're going to see. No big deal at all, right? But notice that some of these isolated pockets in those reds to purples and pinks, you can get up to 2, 3, not going to rule out the chance for 4 inches of rain. Can you get slightly higher? Well, let's see exactly how this sets up. But what I'm just trying to show is that these isolated pockets is where we're going to see some of those heavier totals. It's not widespread, very isolated. Here's another model here. You can see once again, if you do get rain, 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch does seem pretty likely. It's these isolated areas that we're going to have to watch for the potential. And right now it is a low potential, but we do need to keep an eye on some of these isolated areas which can get heavier rainfall and up to 4, if not even slightly higher rainfall totals than that. We're going to continue to keep watching that. Download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. It will show you all the rain that's moving in and out of your area. Again, here's our rainfall outlook for today and the rest of the week into the weekend, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. This is our best chance of rain today. Locally heavy rainfall is possible, and then once we finish out the week and into the weekend, it's more so the isolated to possibly scattered, getting more so into the Louisiana region. But here in southeast Texas into Houston, Beaumont, up toward the Lakes region, we're really going to be seeing 10 to 20% coverage to finish out the week and through the weekend, but slightly higher over there towards Louisiana. Here we are with our afternoon high temperatures today. Big difference difference versus yesterday. We've got a little bit more heat and energy for these storms. Upper 70s, some getting into the low 80s. Down towards the coast will be warm as well, too, thanks to our sponsor, Silsby Ford Gets You On. Again, 60% coverage all across the board. Some of these isolated areas we will be watching for the potential for locally heavy rainfall. And if you've got low-lying areas and poor drainage, could have a flash flood that we will be watching for. Overnight tonight's going to be warm and muggy. Temperatures mainly into the 60s, down towards the coast into the 70s. It's going to be quiet tonight once those storms die down later this evening. Here's our 7-day forecast for southeast Texas. It is a wet Wednesday later this morning into the afternoon, and then we get more so into the isolated coverage the rest of the weekend into the weekend. But notice 80s are back into the forecast, even getting into the 90-degree mark this weekend on Saturday and getting into the 90-degree mark next week. Here we are, 90s. It's not going to be long until we get in May and June. Those 90s stick around. Same thing for southwest Louisiana. You got a little bit better rain coverage. Once we get into Thursday, southeast Texas not as high, and you still have a better chance as well on Saturday. So a little bit more moisture, a little bit better energy over there towards Louisiana. But still, today's going to be our best shot for some locally heavy rainfall. Temperatures get into the 80s once we get into Thursday, close to the 90-degree mark this weekend, and once we get into next week. This is a good time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. Good portion's probably going to get up to a quarter to a half an inch of rain. We do want to watch some of these isolated areas that can get higher totals. 60% coverage is what we're going with all across the board. A little bit more heat, a little bit more energy. Upper 70s to near 80 for some regions. Down towards the coast will be into the 70s. Again, download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. It will keep you updated 24/7. We'll let you know when rain's moving into your area, lightning's moving into your area. If there is a flash flood warning, you will get it in the instant. Thanks again for tuning in to the Wednesday morning show. We'll have more updates throughout the day today, especially watching radar. But if you have not yet, please go download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. We'll have more updates throughout the day today. Thanks for tuning into our Wednesday morning show. I will see y'all again Thursday morning. Stay dry if you can.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by
At Gulf Coast Weather Solutions, we focus on delivering reliable weather forecasts. Our new app provides reliable weather updates and alerts no matter where you are. With real-time weather alerts and warnings, you can stay informed and prepared wherever you go. Download the Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app today on the App Store and Google Play and stay connected no matter where you are.